I wanted to make a quick video talking about 6 different shades of the major pentatonic scale, particularly using microtonal scales to explore sounds that sound very similar to our standard major pentatonic sound, but are using greater than or even fewer than 12 notes per octave. So usually when we think about the major pentatonic scale sound, we have this sound in mind. Classic, C major pentatonic, and so there's a couple of rules or a couple of ways we can think about that. We can think about it as the notes C, D, E, G, A, C, or we can think about it as these intervals. We have a tone, a minor third, a tone, and then a minor third, which is also cool. However, there's a couple of other rules or other ways of thinking about it that can actually help us expand and think about or generate new pentatonic sounds or major pentatonic sounds. So there's 3 rules that I have in mind for constructing a major pentatonic sound. The first is that the intervals need to follow a pattern of small, small, big, small, big. Right? So a tone is smaller than a minor third, so small, small, big, small, big. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is that that final big needs to bring us back where we started, of course. And the last rule is that the difference between small and big needs to be 1, or the smallest unit in a scale. And so that makes sense if we think about it as 2. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3. So the major pentatonic scale, as we normally play it, is 2, 2, 3, 2, 3. And that's very cool. It's a classic sound. However, we can actually follow that pattern to construct different major pentatonic sounds. You know, an easy one, of course, is that if we go 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, or if we go 5, 5, 6, 5, 6, all of those follow those same rules. They all are small, small, big, small, big. They all end where they started, and they all are, the difference between small and big is just 1 unit. And the cool thing is that we start to get into some pretty wild microtonal scales or microtonal like territories or divisions of the octave, but because it all still sounds so close to a major pentatonic scale, we don't get the usual harshness or abruptness of a microtonal scale that I think we often associate with microtonal music. So I want to show you what these 6 shades of the major pentatonic scale sound like. And here I've got a VCV rack patch set up, and I'll kind of just ignore this stuff, but I'll show you these quantizers that I've got going on, because all of these quantizers are set up to quantize based on those rules that I mentioned. So this first one here, this follows a pattern of the red notes are the active notes, and this first one which is the root, and then it goes 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, and this dark red note here is basically just letting me know that I've done the calculations right and that it's not part of the scale, it's going back to 1. And so that pattern, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, is 7 notes per octave. Next up, this should look familiar, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3. That's 12 notes per octave. That's a standard that we just heard. Next up, 3, 3, 4, 3, 4. That's 17 notes per octave. 4, 4, 5, 4, 5. That's 22 notes per octave. 5, 5, 6, 5, 6 is 27 notes per octave, and then 6, 6, 7, 6, 7 is 32 notes per octave. And basically the way that I've set it up is that all of these quantizers are sort of going into each other, and the logic for that is just that I can deactivate it so that we can hear what each of them sound like. I can quickly jump from one quantization to another. And we'll quickly listen to what's going on. And I might make it a little bit louder. So what's happening is that we can see over here, I've got 4 unique voices that are just moving randomly, independently, and each of these voices is going into and becoming quantized into the major pentatonic notes. And so the cool thing is that we have this almost random choir going on, and it's always going to have nice smooth voice leading. And right now what we're hearing actually is all of these notes being quantized into 32 notes per octave. So I'll turn it up and we'll just listen to that for a bit. So that's really beautiful, of course. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a jump, and we're going to hear now in 27 notes per octave. And because 32, like these intervals are very similar, there is a chance that we won't even really hear a difference, but we'll definitely hear a difference once we're getting into, you know, the 17s and the 7 notes per octave. But let's listen to that change. So ready? We're now going to 27 notes per octave. Very subtle, as you can imagine. I'll do some flicking back and forth. We're back on 27. Go to 22 notes per octave. A much more noticeable difference there. Still sounds really consonant and really beautiful, but we can hear that there's some whack notes here and there. Let's jump to 17 notes per octave. It still all sounds so consonant to me, which I really love. We're going to go to 12. Get ready for this. Now maybe it's just because of hearing it in context, but that sounds way more dissonant to me than any of the others. However, for something really dissonant, let's hear what 7. We can still recognize that major pentatonic sound, but you know, I'll jump straight back to 32 and we'll hear just how different it can be. All the way back to 7. And the last one, this one here, is sort of a bonus or a treat. It's not a major or a minor pentatonic scale. It's almost like a platonic concept of a pentatonic scale because this is 5 notes per octave, just using every note. So it's an equally divided scale into 5 notes. It's like the capital P pentatonic scale. Get ready for this. And I love that this doesn't really sound major or minor. Let's hear 12 notes per octave, our standard. Let's jump to 22. And we'll jump all the way back up to 32. But yeah, thanks for watching. What did you think? What were your favorite major pentatonic sounds, or how did you feel about the conceptual pentatonic scale that's 5 notes per octave?